That worked. Let me explain what's going on here. You saw 3 boards. There is actually a reason for that. Before I start any of that, I actually got a new backpack. This thing's nice.
Your love is rated X. That means you're extra, extraordinary.
Okay, so you might be wondering what the actual reason was for me to be bringing the 3... Thought so. For me to be bringing the 3 boards here. I brought 3... No, hang on, 4. 4. Now the reason why I have all of these skateboards is because I'm actually going to explain why some of them are useful. The skate day or whatever, when I had that guy and we were doing all those special tricks and stuff. That day there were a lot of kids coming to the skate park and asking us, hey, I want to get started skateboarding. What do I start with? Well, there are multiple different types of skateboards you can get. There's cruisers, popsicles. With every skateboard, there's a difference in what they can actually do. This one is a penny board. Of course, it's not by the Penny brand. This is actually a Kryptonics brand. Cheap, easy to buy, crappy. But it's decent for just getting around. They're not made for high speeds unless you're just an absolute daredevil and you really don't care about what's going to happen to you the next 10 seconds. What are you doing? Hang on. You have to have like a superb sense of balance with these things. It's kind of ridiculous as far as how much you actually have to work with one of these. And something like this is even worse. Sometimes I'll take this one with me in my backpack if I don't feel like walking all the way to my car from high school. Literally almost impossible to balance on unless you're like the god of balancing or something. Now here we got something that's more professional, it's skatey-like or whatever. This is what you see most of those professional skateboarders riding on. And wow, this thing used to be pretty. This type of board is good for like if you're wanting to grind, do tricks, more grinding, more tricks, more flippies. Anything stupid you can do with this type of board. The longboard. This thing is my all-time favorite. Why? Because I'm super fat. These things are, in my opinion, the best possible thing that you can buy if you're just now starting out. Longboards, come back here. Honestly, I think this one's my favorite. What? Oh. I think this one's my favorite because look how, oh gosh. Keep in mind, I'm like 200 pounds. These things are basically designed to roll quite smoothly, actually. Most of the reason is because of the springy board. It allows you to bounce over pretty much any crack. Get out of my face here. Better balance, better stability, and all together, it just feels a lot better riding. Now let me explain to you the good thing about having one of these things. Now, having one of these things is a lot more different than having one of those things. This thing's like a solid brick, and it is not as easy to stabilize yourself on. It's hard, okay? It's hard, I'm not gonna lie to you. But for instance, you can do cool things like this. Oh, no, not like that. Now, what the reason for that is with one of these boards, they have these little thingamajigs I like to call wings on them. You can pop them up, or you can spin them around, or you can make them do that. Now another thing is this thing. They're useful if you're trying to get around in small spaces. But say you don't really want to walk somewhere and make everything sort of easier on yourself. I would definitely recommend you picking up one of these. And now finally, the biggest pain in the butt you could ever imagine. This thing. Now this thing is called a Soul Skate. They were originally introduced, I think, in like 2008. But these things are ridiculous. You can't balance on them, and if you run into a problem like this, you're dead. You can't balance on these things. It's ridiculous. I think I've had enough fun for one day. I gotta get to work. Keep it classy, my friends.